Hello all! My name is KyngPin, and today I'm going to be doing another character design session with my friends over on Twitch. This is technically another Scribble to shading episode, except I forgot to record the Scribble and sketch part off camera. But that's not important. Anyway, today we will be designing 3 characters based off of this prompt. Set in present day, the government has been training teenagers with superhuman gifts in a secret base designed as a high school. This is technically a homework assignment I have to do, but I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone here. 3 if you count this recording. So we are going to design a damage, a healer, and a tank character based off of these priorities. Let's get started. Born Dan Valconi on the 1st of July 2004, Dan lived a pretty average life. He always excelled in his academics, always being top of his class. Not that it was a competition. Dan used to be a timid and shy kid, however at the start of his high school career, that changed. He got involved with the wrong crowd and through delinquent behavior, his status among the school grew, becoming the most popular kid there. His behavior, especially in graffiti and vandalism, earned him the nickname Danny Damage among his peers. The social status went to his head and he became extremely prideful, while still keeping top of his class. This popularity also made him vain, developing an insulting and wisecracking tone to his voice. One day the law caught up with him and Dan was charged with vandalism and other misdemeanors, but worst of all, loitering. Heads of the Project Phoenix initiative approached Dan and offered him a clean record in exchange for his participation in the program. After being experimented on, Dan gained the power of increased agility, and was also trained in melee weapon combat with pugil sticks. However, like all members of Project Phoenix, his ability comes with a downside that must be enabled to activate his power. This is known as ASHES, short for At the Subject's Harmful Expense Scenario, and allows the program officials to see if kids can activate their powers at a personal cost. Dan's ASHES revolves around his pride. In order to have increased agility, he must feel humiliated or embarrassed. As a result, Dan hates the heads of Project Phoenix for turning his status against him and rarely uses his power, preferring to fight with his 2 pugil sticks. Additionally, he's increased his smart aleck comments, trying his best to shift the humiliation and embarrassment off of himself and onto others. This has led to him pushing away many people that he cared about and leading to a rocky relationship with his team members, especially heavy metal. He still excels in all his classes, although academics mean much less at the Project Phoenix facility than they would in a normal school setting. Dan wants to do good overall, but because of his fears of being looked down upon, wishes it came at a lower personal cost. Alice Vito was born on April 22nd in 2008, making her biologically the youngest member of the Project Phoenix Alpha team. Since her youth, she had a short temper and was prone to angry fits that caused her to get physical and violent. On the other hand, her devout Christian parents raised her with a strong moral code, and Alice genuinely tried to live a passive, non-violent life. This dichotomy caused a lifelong internal struggle in Alice. She tried to be nice to everyone she met and spoke with a soft and kind voice, but would often resort to screaming and vulgarity when angered. One time, her anger went so unchecked she caused her parents' farmhouse in Kansas to catch fire, although she can't exactly remember how. Scared, she ran out of the burning house, suffering severe burns on her arms as the sole survivor. Now orphaned and alone, she was eventually intercepted by Project Phoenix members, taken to the Project Phoenix facility, and legally pronounced dead. Through experimentation, she was rapidly aged several years and given the alias Sunflower. No one but the higher-ups know her real name. Even Alice refers to herself as Sunflower. She was also given the ability of life transfer, which she can use to heal herself or others. However, in order to be able to heal, she must stockpile life force from other living beings, a direct contrast to her goal of a life against violence and harm. Like Dan, she despises the heads of the Project Phoenix initiative for essentially abducting her and destroying her moral compass. To keep her moral code somewhat intact, Sunflower secretly keeps an actual sunflower in her dorm, despite the rule against having any animals or plants. She also likes to leave a majority of the combat and fighting to Dan and Scott, preferring to play support from the sidelines. Ultimately, she wants to overcome her anger and forgive herself for what she did to her parents. Scott Young is the oldest member of the Alpha team and the muscle of the group. As the older sibling in a dysfunctional home, Scott went out of his way to protect his younger sister from harm. Therefore, much of the physical abuse fell upon himself. Coupled with crippling self-doubt, Scott developed mild masochistic tendencies, and although he did his best to protect others, these internal problems caused him to flee his home. Losing count of how long he's been on his own, and unaware of where he was going, he stumbled upon the Project Phoenix base, and was brought in after collapsing from exhaustion in front of the front gates. In the facility, the heads of Project Phoenix offered him a role in the program, Scott accepted under the false promise that they would help him overcome his demons. Undergoing the same surgery as Danny and Sunflower, he is now able to coat his skin in a thick metal, but it came with a price. A bone must be broken in order to activate the metal coating. Although his bones now heal at an accelerated rate, he is not immune to the pain. Scott's family is left in the dark about all of this, and even though his home life was less than perfect, they are still very worried about him and wherever he is. His low self-esteem causes Scott to often neglect his own well-being, but as a result is overly kind and caring towards others. As mentioned before, his relationship with Dan is far from perfect due to Dan's snarky attitude. Scott doesn't react much to insults directed at himself, but will speak up when Dan targets someone else, specifically Sunflower. Well, finally, we've reached the end of this this many hour art project. Thank you to everyone who joined me along on this journey. It's been a doozy. I really like how all the characters turned out, although I have to say Sunflower is probably my least favorite of the four. Yes, I am counting this one as a totally separate character. So if you liked the video, make sure to light up that like button to the maximum. Comment down below what you thought, and also don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more art projects in the future. I will see you all again very soon. Until next time, goodbye.